Trey Songz, Trey Songz, Trey Songz is R. Kelly's baby. Okay, he's R. Kelly's baby. R. Kelly is super talented, makes great records, amazing writer. Trey Songz about the same. And I always said to myself, Trey Songz is a big name, but why isn't he bigger? Why doesn't more artists mess with Trey Songz? Like he's really, really talented. His music conceptually is incredible. Like, why don't people mess with this guy? And I figured it out. Took me a while to get there, but you could grant me some grace. It took us a while to understand why R. Kelly or who R. Kelly really is. So grant me some grace here.
Okay, so what was your conclusion when you on Trey Songz? Why do you feel like people don't mess with him now?
Well, people learned their lesson. After so many high profile artists worked with R. Kelly and then felt the wrath inadvertently when R. Kelly went down, they don't want to go through that again with Mr. Trey Songz. Trey Songz allegedly is a freaking animal. Nothing that I've heard where it's underage women, but just a lot of rape allegations. Like this is all alleged, all right, not there. A lot of rape allegations. He's spitting in women's mouths. He's got them locked in hotel rooms. He's forcefully taking his fingers and jamming them up girls' poom pooms. Like apparently he's a pretty aggressive guy. And you know what they say? It's like, look, man, if they've been calling you a crackhead for 20 years, nigga, you smoking crack. Like they're not gonna lie about you for 20 years.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
Dylan Gonzalez, this other beautiful lady, says Trey Songz raped her. Right? Raped her. Came out with it on Twitter or Instagram, one of them. Says, hey, this guy raped me. And she's like, I can't hold it in any longer. Trey Songz team responded, not true. We believe in the law. Give it time. Blah 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 blah. All the stuff you're supposed to say.
Trey Songz got back into music mode and started writing them false lyrics. I love
Look,
it.
I'm a believer of hearing both sides of the story, but I'm not calling you. No, people aren't calling you a crackhead for 20 years and you ain't smoking crack. If there is smoke, there is fire. How many more little cliche statements do I need to make? Something's going on with Trey Songz, bro.
Okay, so I got two things on this, right? So first of all is the factor of I agree with what you're saying. If this was the first time this had happened, or maybe even twice, I would say, you know what? It's a rich guy. He doesn't need to do it. I can't see it, blah, 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 blah. But this seems to be a continuous, and not just continuous, but it's happening. It's like a stir often recipe where you, instead of the stir occasionally, this is the stir often recipe. This is a gravy that we're making right here. Because this guy, the last allegation, I think, was just a few months ago. We were talking about something else.
Right.
And then before that, there was the image. We talked about that with the image with him, spitting in the girl's mouth. We had to blur the whole. I had to blur, to make that graphic. I had to make it about 3-4 times because every time I put it up, YouTube said,
nope,
no, sir,
no thanks,
no, not having any of that. I had to take the color, change the color of it. I had to change the shape of the people. I had to blur out the thing, man, and still make it look like it was what it was. And that was just to get it onto YouTube. You know what I mean? And this is just an image.
Right.
So it's too continuous. It's happening too often for me to think at this point that there's not some kind of truth behind it. Is it all true? No, there's always three sides to a story. So there's always a middle ground. But do I believe that these girls are true? And they said that they probably were like, I don't want to do this. And he was like, yeah, I'm Trey Songz. We're going to do this. I mean, that brings me to my second point. Trey Songz has been famous for a long, long time. And he was famous when he was young, too. He was like him and Chris Brown. They were both famous when they were like 16, 17. You know what I'm saying?
Trey Songz, just a little tidbit there, was in Chris Brown's Excuse Me, Miss video. Just to point that out. Go ahead.
Right. Very, very young. You know what I'm saying? So when you're famous for that long and you've been around people who consistently tell you yes and you're the greatest and hype you up and make you feel nice about yourself, you start to grow a persona where that carries on to the rest of your life. So when you're out somewhere, it's no longer I have to work for it. It's I deserve this. I'm entitled to this. I own this. So when you meet with these girls, and so many of them are just throwing themselves at you, and this is not a scapegoat or me trying to explain away anything. This is me trying to bring understanding, or me trying to understand it and verbally expressing how I'm trying to understand it to y'all. But if you're around women who throw themselves at you, and then you meet a woman and she decides to say, no, you're like, what? What do you mean no? I'm Trey Songz. You can't tell me no. You know what? You are playing hard to get. That's what you're doing. And I'm going to show you, say, I have the confidence to overcome your walls, and I'm going to do that. And I feel like that's the point where he's reached, and it's wrong. The thinking about it is wrong, but fuck. When you've been famous for that long, I mean, shit, it's hard for me to sit here and understand what my thinking would be like if I've been famous since I was 15, 16 years old without proper guidance.
Well, at the end of the day, I don't care how long you were famous for, because you understand the English language, how you write music. So more than anything, you understand what yes means, and you also understand what no means. Now, I also understand that with women and with men, context is needed. Sometimes when, the mouth says no, the eyes say yes. You understand what I'm saying? But you got to know these things. So you're right. The lines can get blurred there. But at the end of the day, this is a Jason Derulo moment. Okay? You're a celebrity. So if she is saying no and the eyes are saying yes, you go with what the mouth said, which is no, because you can't afford to make that mistake, brother. I'm sorry.
Right.
And the last thing I want to say about this is, viewing public, Trey Songz fans. Okay, you guys, let's not let Lifetime have to make a 4-part documentary about Trey Songz before we understand who Trey Songz is. If this is true, okay, let's not get blinded by the music, by the talent, okay? Great musician, super talented artist, but if he's a monster, he's still a monster, and he should be removed from the street. He should get the R. Kelly treatment, but just a lot faster. Let's not let 20 years go by with all this insanity happening in front of our face, and we're just dancing to it because the music is good. So let me say that everybody deserves their day in trial, but damn, can we at least get the trial? Could we at least get?
You got to understand the difference between yes and no, man. That's a big. Yeah, listen. Let me give you a little side quick thing, because even I understand. I'm not famous, and even I understand the difference between the yes and the yo, and a yo and a no, right? So there's this one time I was with this girl, and it was about to get down and dirty. We were about to get down and dirty, man, and it was about to happen. And she's like, "I'm not sure if I want to do this," and I'm like, "What?" Like right when it's about to kick off, that's when you're bringing this up. She's like, "Yeah, because you're like, you'll be the second person I've ever done this with." I was like, "Oh. You know what? No, nope, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. We're gonna hold off on this because you said you're not sure, and then you brought that up. And I know that even if we do this, somewhere down the line, if things go sour, you bring this up in the wrong way, my ass is grass, because they're always in these situations going to believe the female, and that's from my experience. That is from my experience. They will always believe that.
Well, viewing public, I want to know what your thoughts are. Trey Songz, man. You need to write a book or to get people to sign, like do a blood test, prove they're not intoxicated, ID, take a picture holding today's newspaper. Like, you need unrefutable proof when you have sex with a woman that this is consensual, because your track record, brother, not musically, but with women, is horrible. Really, really bad. I mean, we're comparing you to R. Kelly. That can't be good, right?
No, we are not. You were.
I'm comparing you to R. Kelly. That can't be good, right?
I I like the situations where you say we, and then other situations you say I. I see it. I see where the we comes in. I like it.
All right, then. Well, leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Trey Songz is not peeing on women, but he is spitting in their mouths during a pandemic. Deuces.